What's up, everybody? It's Luke James, not the singer. If you're looking to get your music reviewed, you can hit up this email that's right here. But today I'm going to hit you up with my thoughts and opinions on this new project from Hobo Johnson called The Fall of Hobo Johnson. Now, Hobo Johnson is a rapper slash poet who's coming out of California, and he's made a lot of noise over the past little while through his NPR Tiny Desk performances, as well as some of the videos that he's put out on YouTube. Now, full disclosure, if you like what you've heard from him already leading into this album, I think you're going to like it. But if you're like me and you saw some of those performances and you thought the shit was cringy and awful, then I don't think this is going to change your opinion, because it's pretty much the exact same thing. And even if you do love this album and love him as an artist, I think you can understand why people might not appreciate the style that he's bringing. Certainly not the most accessible. He is doing something a little bit different and unique, so I will give him credit for that. But in my opinion, the shit just sounds absolutely terrible. And most of that has to do with his delivery, because he goes from just rapping normally to whispering to screaming to blubbering like a fucking scorned child or like this emotional teenager who didn't get their way. It is just so cringy when he starts to go like this, and then he's whispering as he's trying to hit his point home, and then he screams because he's angry. It is just absolutely embarrassing and uncomfortable to listen to, man. I actually felt embarrassed while I was listening to this. They could probably use this shit to get any information they wanted out of prisoners within 5 seconds. That's how bad that I think it is. And while I do understand that there's probably some poetic or artistic intention behind what he's doing, he's trying to come through with that sort of slam poetry slash spoken word style where you put different emphasis on the things that you're saying so the point gets home. I just think it all comes across as really weird, cringy, and awkward, man. Really not a fan of this at all. I would rather listen to Leatherface rev up his chainsaw and run through a nursing home just cutting people in half and the shit's on fire and people are screaming and yelling. This shit sounds worse than a bunch of cats in heat shut in a tiny room and they're all just trying to pump each other. And then there's rocking chairs in the room, so they're all getting their tails squished at the same time they're trying to pump each other, and they're all just screaming and yelling, and the shit is awful. That's about how bad this is. Actually, you know what this kind of reminds me of? Not just the sound I'm talking about, the way that he's blubbering, whining, and complaining on here. That, along with the content, where we're getting into some lovey-dovey stuff that I will get into, it reminds me of if you were maybe minding your business on the bus or a train, and then this drunk teenager who just got their heart broken got on, sat down beside you and started going on about this girl I used to like, and she stabbed me with a knife in my heart, and I didn't really like it, but it made me so mad. And see how cringy and uncomfortable it is? That's what this shit sounds like to me, this Hobo Johnson shit. But hey, man, if you like it, that's cool. I ain't hating on you. We all have different preferences, but I don't know. This shit to me is some of the worst shit I've heard all year. I think Chance the Rapper's album is better than this. At least there were a couple of beats on it that were decent, because the production on this ain't that great either, man. I feel like there's not really much about this that I can praise. You're going to get some pretty goofy and silly bangers, so they don't really hit that hard unless you don't mind the goofy content that he's going on about his Subaru and all this other bullshit. You're going to get some cheesy piano joints, some more slow spoken word type of stuff, some guitar ballads. I didn't think the production on this was any better than the actual stuff that he was doing, so there really wasn't anything that I liked about this one. I know it's probably going to get praised for its variety, but variety and experimentation, by the way, I feel like sometimes people use that just to say anything's good. Like, that's the only way that they're going to praise it. Like, oh, there's so much variety, he's trying so many new things, and I can appreciate that to a certain point, but the shit still has to sound good, man. It's like if you went to a fucking buffet and there was a variety, but it was just a bunch of varieties of shit, or just some food that wasn't made well, man. You're not really going to like it still. It ain't that good. Experimentation still has to be good. You can't be doing crazy experiments on a hamster where you're burning their fucking flesh off, unless, you know, I guess you're testing shampoo, so it's gonna save people, which is better than burning people, but god damn it, you get the point. Variety and experimentation are sometimes used just to praise these albums when the shit is still sloppy, and that's kind of how I feel about this one. The only emotion I got out of this was me wanting to take my speakers, put them in a barrel, light the shit on fire, send it into space, fire some missiles at it, blow it up, and then if any more of those pieces come down, we're gonna blow those up with missiles too, and just keep firing all kinds of fucking missiles at it over and over, like Sector from Mortal Kombat, just these heat-seeking ones blowing the shit up. This shit to me is not really good. So let me scroll down here. Do I have anything else to say? I guess his charm is supposed to be that he is awkward and quirky, and shucks, I'm Hobo Johnson. Love is so hard. You can relate to me, it's okay. But even some of that shit doesn't come across right either, because there's parts on here where he's coming through with that content that's, you know, depressive, and he's popping pills and drinking to cope with the pain, while also shaming this girl for, you know, not wanting to be with him. There's a point where he says all the guys that these girls like are just dumb. And while people are saying this is like incel music, I do think that's a bit too far, but I kind of understand the points that they're getting at. There's a little bit of manipulative shit that you might be able to take away from this. Maybe that's supposed to be the honest truth, man. He's just opening up about his emotions and feelings. I've already had someone say that to me. They said that I must think I'm too hard to enjoy this shit. But no, I have no problem with you opening up about your emotions and feelings. But god damn it, make the music good. The music on this album isn't good. I didn't care for this at all. There's another line where he says a woman makes his Mondays feel like Fridays. Those are some Garfield-ass bars. Didn't think that was great. Then on the outro track, he's just talking about how he wants, just that stereotypical life with the dog, the wife, and the kids, and they're all going to be happy, and they're going to make movies together, and the kid's going to learn to play guitar. This shit is fucking terrible, man. I cannot actually imagine wanting to listen to this shit, man. This is just brutal. To each their own. I'm sorry. If you watch reviews for validation, I cannot lie about this, man. This is really bad to me. Like, that's why it's a rant review. I'm just ranting this shit because I think it's even worse than Vic Mensa's album, man. Vic Mensa's album wasn't that great, but this one, I don't know. I just don't think the execution here was great. I would rather watch an execution. R.I.P. to Ned Stark. Boy, this is really bad. I don't usually go below a 1, but I really think this could be like a 0.5 out of 5 because I did not like anything really about this all. Like, I respect Hobo Johnson. Maybe he's not a hobo anymore. Maybe he's not homeless, so he's doing his thing. He did put this together. He put the effort in, but we're just going to leave it at that, man. 0.5 out of 5. I don't know if I could ever really give something a 0. Usually there's something there, or they did put it together so you can appreciate the work. This is pretty damn close. So we're splitting hairs, man. You could call this a 1, a 0.5, a 0, whatever. I'm gonna go with a 0.5 because I just feel like this shit is just really damn bad. But hey, that's my opinion. Let me know how you feel in the comment section. Maybe you love it, maybe you don't. I'm sure the comment section will get interesting. But there you go, man. This is the rant of all rants. Let me know how you feel. Make sure you do that good YouTube and social media stuff where you show me love and you show me lots of it. Thank you for watching, everybody. I will see you next time.